Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
The Caribbean Academy of Sciences Jamaica, CASJ, hosted their 21st General Meeting and Conference at the University of the West Indies, Mona. Business Access TV has all the highlights, so stay tuned.
As the university goes through its 70th year, 70 years of service, 70 years of excellence, we're at the vanguard of educational excellence. And we extend heartfelt congratulations to our partners at CAS and CASJ as they commemorate their anniversaries and move forward. The theme selected by CAS this year is very befitting: science, technology, and innovation, vehicles for a knowledge-based economy. This collaboration amongst CAS, CASJ, and the UWI yields an investment in science, technology, and innovation fostered by a robust research development portfolio. It is essential as a precursor to the knowledge-based economy. Science and technology, as well as innovation, has now formed a part of the university's strategic plan. As you may know, our strategic plan is based on access, alignment, and agility. Within access, AC4, which is to increase the quality, quantity, and impact of research, innovation, and publication, feeds directly into this goal. We therefore are trying to, within the University of the West Indies, increase all that we do, not just in quality and quantity, but impact, since that which creates impact may not yet be published, but be impactful in a decision-making process for a country. This conference will facilitate a forum for the cross-pollination among different research fields. We will elucidate and discuss innovative theories, frameworks, methodologies, tools, and applications which may be of use in enhancing the quality of human life and contribute effectively to sustainable economic development. It is our hope that you will take this knowledge into your public and private setting, into your institutions, your agencies, your ministries, so that the dialogue may continue. And with the University of the West Indies being at the lead, we would like to offer ourselves to be that research engine for entities who would like research and development done. The substance of the policies which will come from our research continue to emulate, and I invite you to our next research days, which will be in February, where you can see the research from this faculty, science and technology, on display as it relates to policies. Last year we did medical sciences. This year we're doing science and technology. To all our colleagues at CAS and CASJ, I say welcome, especially those who are visiting for the first time, and look forward to a partnership which we think is essential and critical to the nexus in our regional economic venture and development. I welcome you all and look forward to a productive 4 days.
As a reaffirmation of the essential right of universal access to science in the framework of the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Established by UNESCO in 2001, the World Science Day for Peace and Development highlights the importance role of science in society and the need to engage the wider public on emerging issues relevant to science. As the Director General of UNESCO, Madame Audrey Azoulay, indicated, the astonishing progress made by science in recent decades has changed our lives. Science and its countless applications now condition all aspects of human life. The resulting innovations are an opportunity for the development of our sciences. They are improving our well-being, facilitating daily life, and pushing back borders that seemed immutable in the fields of medicine, transportation, communication, and knowledge sharing. They are an engine of growth and wealth. UNESCO recognizes that sciences, technology, and innovation, STI, provide key answers to build peace and bolster sustainable development, and therefore, we need more integrated science to strengthen water management, to ensure the sustainable use of the ocean, to protect ecosystems and biodiversity, to tackle climate change and disasters, and to foster innovation. This is why Sciences, Technology and Innovation, STI, stands at the heart of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Paris Agreement on Climate Change. In this spirit, UNESCO has developed a unique approach to promote global scientific cooperation between and within societies, combining global sustainability and local actions and knowledge with focus on gender equality. In this respect, UNESCO is pleased to support the forum designed by the Caribbean Academy of Science Jamaica chapter on cracking the code to gender disparities in creating knowledge-based economy, increasing female participation in STEM, in which the reality of gender parity in STEM with special reference to the Caribbean will be examined. On the other hand, today, as the complexity of the world's issues goes beyond the framework of a single discipline, UNESCO has made transdisciplinarity the cornerstone of its work for sustainability, building networks with multiple stakeholders, and promoting South-South and North-South-South cooperation to foster sciences, technology, and innovation, STI, for sustainable development and to encourage mutual understanding and peace.
Our objective is to promote science and also instill science culture in the society, and because science culture presently in societies is very, very low, and the government has to understand that without science and technology and innovations, the economy cannot grow. Technology we are developing quite rapidly in terms of the information technology and all this, but what is needed is the transfer of the technological aspects, high technological aspects into the society, and that has to be brought by the young scientists who are engaged in those kind of scientific endeavor. And also we need government to support this kind of activities.
At the opening ceremony, one of the points that really stood out for me was the fact that the different disciplines seem to, there's a little disparity. So humanities, we need our space, and scientists need their space. And besides my personal research, I'm also a facilitator at the Shell STEM program in Trinidad. And one of the things I do in my presentations is that I like to introduce the fact to students that STEM you can do, the world is open to you in terms of opportunities. So for instance, if you like art, you can become a biological illustrator. If you love journalism, you can be a science journalist. The world is just open, and I really wish that this conference, a lot of people will see that. It's not scientists by themselves. It's everybody. We can all benefit in some way from science. It's nothing to be scared of.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
It has become a bit of a cliche to state that science and technology are key drivers of economic growth in the 21st century. Many researchers have pointed to the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century and the scientific revolution of the 20th century as setting the conditions that have given rise to today's global knowledge-based creative economy. Nowhere is the impact of science and technology on our lives more obvious than in the rapid innovations in communications and computing technologies, leading to more countries being able to participate more fully in the global economy. Today, new technologies are transforming and expanding many economies in the same way that earlier industrial and technological advances changed the course of history. Indeed, a growing percentage of wealth in the world's largest economies is created by knowledge-based industries that rely heavily on human capital and technological innovation. We are, of course, challenged by the question, what exactly is this knowledge-based economy? The World Bank and the OECD have defined it as an economy where knowledge is created, acquired, transmitted, and used effectively and creatively by organizations, enterprises, individuals, and communities to develop groundbreaking ideas and models. One example, often cited, of an economy that was rapidly transformed by an embrace of science and technology is that of South Korea. Its rapid progress in the knowledge and information revolution was attributed, to a large extent, to its widespread internet usage. The government recognized very early the need for the country to get connected to the web, and in the late 1990s invested heavily in broadband infrastructure. Privatization and deregulation in the telecom sector also led to South Korea being amongst the most wired nations in the world, with over 80% of households hooked up to broadband. A number of things will have to be addressed, including economic and institutional infrastructure, information infrastructure, and education. The government of Jamaica has recognized this and has committed to investing more in STEM education. In fact, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM programs in schools remain one of high priority for the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. Just by way of background, the STEM initiative was started in a formal and concerted way within the ministry in May 2014 and has continued under the current administration. The ministry established a STEM steering committee to provide oversight to the work of the STEM team, as well as the STEM technical committee that is driving the research and training component of the initiative. Under the new administration, the following have been done. Steering committee meeting would have been held in September 2016. New members invited to join the STEM committee. Just over $200 million have been budgeted to fund STEM and some non-STEM schools for the procurement of STEM-related equipment and material. The following tasks have been undertaken and are either complete or near completion. The first being a STEM concept paper has been completed and ratified by the STEM steering committee. And that, of course, sets out the thrust, the undergirding thrust of what it is that the ministry is embarked on. Secondly, work on a list of criteria for certification of STEM institutions for the academic year started in 2016 and is now about 90% complete. Thirdly, the Sydney Pagan Agricultural School, and in terms of the geography and locale, that's down in St. Elizabeth, northeast St. Elizabeth to be precise. So the Sydney Pagan Agricultural School has been transformed into a STEM academy. This was initiated in September 2014 with some 100 students at grade 7 and approximately $20 million having been spent on infrastructure to include upgrading of classrooms and laboratories. Equipment and material for the science program are being provided to enhance the project-based learning in accordance with STEM methodology. Recruitment of additional staff has been done, and extensive training of the academic and other staff members done to build their capacity. So upskilling would be an important part of this entire initiative.
I am working in the area of materials chemistry, and a considerable amount of my research is about developing new materials for renewable energy technologies. I also do, again, an extensive amount of work in catalytic chemistry, that's developing new catalysts for key industrial processes. I think the area of renewable energy technologies is of key importance for the whole world, but of course for the Caribbean nations. I think, for instance, there is clearly great scope in the Caribbean for greater deployment of solar energy technologies, but maybe other energy technologies as well. We need to move away from the current dependence on fossil fuels. We need, for instance, or perhaps in particular, to attract high-quality students into the STEM field if we're going to have vigorous research community. That is a challenge. It's a challenge for the scientific community to present the work they're doing in an accessible way, particularly to young people, so that it seems an attractive area and an attractive career. It's a challenge for government as well to ensure that the facilities for high-quality STEM education receive high priority.
Your presentation was entitled Rethinking STEM, Higher Education in the 21st Century. Highlight the main points of your presentation.
The main points that I made are, first of all, that today's students are facing a very different world than the ones that I grew up in. Today's STEM fields are really critical for the jobs of the future. So we need more students who are competent in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and who can apply their understanding of those fields to practical problems, producing new solutions to problems that humanity faces. What I stressed in my presentation is that the way we teach students is pivotal for increasing and sustaining their interest in STEM. That's important for future STEM professionals, but it's also important for the citizenry in general to understand what science and technology and engineering and mathematics are and why they're important for society. So we need to deal with education from general level all the way to the highly professional level. And I also stressed very much in my presentation that the way we teach, the way we deal with our learners in university is very important. The old way was lecturing, that is talking at the students, and evidence now shows that that's not a good way to learn. What I stress is the importance of what we call active learning. This is where students engage with each other, they discuss in real time in class the issues that are being presented to them, they learn to apply their knowledge on the spot, they learn to work in groups because that's critically important for the future. Employers want teamwork. They don't want solo workers. They want nimble, innovative thinkers, and that the way to get them is to have them talk to each other and energize each other and discover how the knowledge that they're learning can be used. Scientific research and the companion of that, which is engineering, to apply knowledge for technological advancement, this is crucially important for the economies of nations going forward into what we call the fourth industrial revolution, where data science and cyber science and electronic digital communications, all of these things that didn't exist in the 20th century are now pivotal going forward. And any country that sustains interest in those fields and equips students with the tools to be innovators, to be producers of new knowledge, that's going to fuel the economy of that country. So there's no going back. We're not going back away from this highly technological future. So we want to prepare kids to be ready for it.
We're an investment management company. We're a licensed securities dealer, and we trade and invest mainly in US dollar denominated securities that trade on the global market, and mainly fixed income securities, bonds and so on. Those are the main products that we offer for our clients. And our clients are mainly people looking for medium to long-term investments that will retain their value and give them a good return. It's really great to bring scientists together here in Jamaica from all across the Caribbean and to spend 3 or 4 days exchanging ideas, papers, etc. We're very happy. We have a very good relationship with the university. We are the investment house of choice for the discerning investors, the people who are looking for medium to long-term returns, people investing for their pensions, any sort of medium to long-term investment. We think we offer very good products and services in that regard.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
So we're here with Kiara Cosmetics, a wellness and beauty company that specializes in all natural products that are designed to enhance your beauty naturally. And we utilize Jamaican materials, indigenous Jamaican plant extracts and essential oils to bring out that key properties that will give you what you need to help take care of your skin, hair, and nails. So Kiara Cosmetics, we formulate unique products, and our products are really geared towards our population, because what you find on our markets is flooded with imported products that we're developing European markets or with persons with different physiological profile than we have. So Kiara Cosmetics products are specially designed, expertly formulated, taking all these things in mind. So when you utilize your products, you actually get the benefits that you wanted and what the products were intended for. Cosmetics is a science. It's a very intense science. As a matter of fact, it's a very specialized area that you have to study and be trained in. When you know your ingredients, know how they function, and not just how they function as individual ingredients, but in combination with each other, is very essential, and that's what science does when you're talking about cosmetic chemistry. So the response has been good, especially from the audience as well. A lot of persons coming in and having that confidence, knowing that the products were developed by a chemist. It actually helps, and knowing that I'm UE bred, that also goes a long way. So it has been phenomenal. So our products are available right across Jamaica. They're also available in the US. We ship to the US. We actually keep inventory in New York. So you can order online at www.kiaracosmetics.com. You can follow us on Instagram as well as on Facebook, where you can keep up to date with what is happening. We also have a blog on our website that is teaching persons general knowledge about taking care of their hair, skin, and nails, because what we really believe in is not just beauty, but your natural beauty and enhancing that natural beauty. We all have issues. We all have something or another that we are not so confident about, and that's what Kiara Cosmetics is about. How do you build that confidence without putting on too much, without changing who you are? So what we're doing is enhancing your natural beauty.
Well, Conrad Douglas and Associates and its subsidiary Estec are the pioneering companies in the Caribbean, Jamaica, for environmental management and project development and feasibility analysis. Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited was established 33 years ago, so we're heading into our 34th year. Estec, which is a subsidiary, was established 23 years ago, so that's 24 years in the industry. We have done significant work in Jamaica in all industry stores in bauxite, and we have also worked internationally in a number of industries within the Caribbean also, so our experience is very international. Presently, we're very active also now in the environmental management and project development phase, and we are integrally now into the energy sector transformation with natural gas, where we are doing the environmental management for New Fortress Energy, who is bringing natural gas to a number of entities within the Jamaican economy. So this speaks very well for the industry, because it now opens up these companies to the need for significant and proper environmental management and planning to ensure that we in Jamaica are protecting our natural resources while we advance the economy. And it can be done, and that is what we have been doing for the last 34 years. We have been developing projects, implementing them, and ensuring that the environment is protected. We are engaged in sustainable development at its highest level. CAS is the Caribbean Academy of Sciences, and now we are premier sponsors for this event. And it is a very good partnership because we are in the business of science and technology and information. And this year's theme of using science and technology as a vehicle for development is well within our mantra and our what we believe should be the guiding vehicle for development: science, technology, and information.
Showcase Jamaica Tours is a premier tour company that offers guided tours all across the island of Jamaica. We pride ourselves in the quality of our tour guides. People spend a lot of money to come to Jamaica, so we want to know they get value for their money. They feel at the end of the tour that they have really got value for the money that they have spent. Our tours tend to be more personalized, so we are less of the big bus operation and smaller personalized tours, so we can coin any tour to suit the needs or the interests of different people. We do night tours. We take them to dinner, we take them dancing, concerts, any kind of concert. I was invited to be the tour operator of choice for the conference delegates, so that they could get a chance to see something of Jamaica, because most times people come and it's an airport, a conference room, hotel room, and then they're back to the airport. So this time they're giving them a chance to have a little local experience and to see a little of what Jamaica has to offer, and we have a lot to offer. I just invite anybody who is a visitor to the island, and even if you're a local and you haven't seen much of the island, to come and join one of our experiences. You can contact us via telephone 876-817-3366, or we can be reached by email at showcasejamaicatours@yahoo.com. And of course, we have a website where you will see a number of tours being offered, and that's www.showcasejamaicatours.com.
That was CASJ's 21st General Meeting and Conference held at the UWI Mona. Thanks for tuning into Business Access TV, serious about business.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Our children have recorded overall improvements in their pass rates at this year's sitting of the CSEC and CAPE exams. We'd like to extend our heartiest congratulations to those who have aced their tests. For those who did not do as planned, we encourage you to resit those exams. After all, the true measure of success is how many times you can bounce back from failure. You're tuned to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye, running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs around here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 26. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clarke says the country's macroeconomic successes over the last 6.5 years under 2 IMF agreements must be attributed to the hard work, determination, and sacrifice of the Jamaican people. According to Minister Clarke, over the period the country's debt has been reduced significantly, macroeconomic stability has become entrenched, economic growth has returned, and there has been a substantial increase in employment.
And we owe it to the Jamaican people to preserve these gains, to build on these gains, even as we work towards addressing other challenges.
The Finance Minister was speaking at a MOU signing to extend the Economic Program Oversight Committee EPOC's domestic monitoring of Jamaica's economic reform program. This will go beyond the end of the precautionary standby arrangement with the IMF in November. Minister Clarke says the MOU's extension follows the government's agreement with the IMF to keep its office in Jamaica open for 2 years following the end of the program.
These decisions are a clear demonstration of the government's commitment and intent to maintain a credible macroeconomic path, inclusive of a fiscal trajectory that's consistent with our fiscal responsibility framework long into the future, providing a foundation for economic opportunity for current and future generations.
Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is lauding the government for initiating measures to preserve and bolster the economic gains recorded over the last 6.5 years. IMF resident representative Dr. Constant Lonkengwana says he believes the main building blocks are being put in place to ensure that the exit from the IMF is smooth.
Not out of the wood yet, but the cost has been huge. So I believe the fact that Jamaican people are plugged in and very engaged in the policy discussions is in and of itself a guardian to that sound economic policy going forward.
Dr. Lonkengwana says the IMF will remain as a consultation body to Jamaica after it leaves the precautionary standby arrangement in November.
We will not be in the business of agreeing on specific targets with the government. Jamaica will essentially be on the driver's seat. We will continue to provide our technical expertise where needed, because I must say that technical assistance is one of the main functions of the IMF, because we do believe that helping countries to strengthen the economic institutions will allow those countries to implement sound policy in order to raise the living standards of their people.
The Ministry of Agriculture says the feasibility study being developed for a proposed irrigation system in Flagaman, St. Elizabeth is far advanced. The system is projected to take water from the Black River to supply about 5,000 farmers whose cultivations are impacted by drought annually. State Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Floyd Green, says the final report on the feasibility study should be completed by December, enabling the government to allocate the funding for the project. Minister Green says preliminary data from the study has determined that the Black River has the capacity to adequately supply Flagaman and adjoining communities. He says plans are underway to design the layout of the irrigation system and determine the cost for the project's implementation. Minister Green was speaking recently while on a tour of farms that were severely affected by fire a week before. Still on the issue of water, the Ministry of Education says it will be conducting surveys to assess water shortages in affected schools across the country. Minister with Oversight, Carl Samuda, says the assessment will be done over a month and is to start shortly so plans can be put in place to effect change immediately. He emphasizes that this is being done with a view to have water tanks and the necessary piping installed in schools to ensure water is available during dry spells and inconsistent supply. The Education Minister was addressing the Jamaica Teachers Association's 55th annual conference in Montego Bay recently. The Scientific Research Council, SRC, has strengthened its capacity to carry out food reformulation with upgrades to its equipment costing $100 million. Executive Director Dr. Cliff Riley says the initiative is to assist manufacturers in making their products healthier for consumers.
We're all aware of the discussions in terms of reducing the amount of sugar, reducing the amount of salts, as well as different types of fats that are allowed in the different food types. In an effort to reduce the levels of obesity, reduce the incidence of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and other non-communicable diseases.
Dr. Riley was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. To support the different manufacturing institutions, he says SRC technical staff have been trained in how to use the equipment and an evaluation process begins this week.
And we want to ensure that what is in a label is actually what is in the food. If you report 30 grams of sugar per serving, it should be 30 grams of sugar plus or minus 10% as accepted internationally. It can't be 50 and report 30. So the level of accountability should increase significantly. And I believe the Ministry of Health and the different regulatory bodies are now able to better hold our manufacturers to higher levels of accountability for what they report on the actual labels.
The food reformulation initiative is being led by the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the University of Technology. SRC and the Bureau of Standards Jamaica are the verification bodies. And finally, scholarships, bursaries, and grants amounting to $5.1 million have been awarded to 28 students from across the island to offset tuition and related expenses. State Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Orlando Terrelong, has lauded Burger King Jamaica for the support to students who will be pursuing secondary and tertiary studies beginning in September.
The best investment we can make in Jamaica is in our youth. The best investment we can make is in developing the human capital of this country. And these young kings and young queens are that human capital. It is in them that we must spend millions and billions of dollars to ensure their prosperity and the prosperity of our nation.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Hurricanes can strike at any time. In the event of one, be prepared to act quickly. If a hurricane watch or warning has been issued, review your home disaster response plan. Map out likely routes to evacuate if your home is at risk and confirm with relatives or friends you plan to stay with. Also, confirm the location of the nearest shelter. Check your emergency supplies and restock if necessary. Remember, disasters do happen, so be prepared.
Ensure you and your child have a smooth transition into the new academic year. See how next.
It's that time of year again when we're preparing for back to school. And as a commission, we want to ensure that we're giving you practical help as to what you need to be doing to ensure your children are very prepared for school. One of the things we recommend is that parents must understand the learning profile of their children. Understand who they are as learners. If you can have conversations with the teacher about their learning interests, their preferences, or disabilities or challenges that they have. Some children, for example, will require preferential seating. These are some of the things you will need to know so that your children can be comfortable and benefit from their learning. You also need to carry a positive attitude so that that can be translated to the children. Develop a good rapport with the teachers. Try to learn as many of the names of the teachers as you can
and also collect as many cell phone numbers as you can. And in fact, there are teachers who are part of WhatsApp groups. And so this should be encouraged because it keeps you abreast as to what's going on with the children and also what they will need in order to improve the learning outcomes. Parents, the National Parenting Support Commission is here for you. We wish you a successful year. All the best.
Mommy?
Yes, Zoe?
Can we read this book? It will only take 10 minutes.
Sure, sit down. Every spring, Madame Angel Wing arranges.
Do you have 10 minutes? Read with your child today. Reading with your children for just 10 minutes each day helps develop their language and listening skills, stimulates their imagination, and expands their understanding of the world. So, start reading with your child today.
School for most of our children is just a week away. Parents, are you ready for the new school year? Let's see.
Do you hear that? You hear that? Yes, the start of the new school year is upon us, and I'm sure parents and children are ready and raring to go. Today, we'll just go through some of the things you'll need to have a smooth and worry-free transition from the lazy days of summer to the industrious school days ahead.
At this time, the last minute things would be ensuring they have their birth certificate, immunization card, as well as a child's medical.
An important part of the process of returning to school is registration. This ensures that there is a record available to prove enrollment at a school. This also tells the school administrators the correct number of students to expect so they can properly prepare for the young learners in the upcoming academic year. Whether it's going to a new school or to a new grade at your old school, registration is filled with a host of benefits for teacher, parent, and student. The teacher will get an idea of the number of children in the class and prepare for them. The student will get to meet the form teacher as well as other classmates, and the parent will receive well-needed information about getting the child ready for school. These include a book list, instructions on how to construct the school uniform, and a medical form. A medical record is one sure way to safeguard a student's safety at school. That's why the Ministry of Education mandates that students entering primary and secondary schools undergo a medical examination. The medical form that's filled out by a doctor has well-needed information on ailments, allergies, or physical disabilities that would preclude a child from taking part in certain activities, such as physical education or a school trip to a farm that might put the child's life in danger. Filling out the medical form is a top priority. Even though some schools may have allowed the child to register without the form, until that's done, registration at the school is incomplete. So ensure that the medical examination form is filled out and returned to the school before the start of the academic year. Buying the approved texts is essential to following the school syllabus to academic success. In the past, parents have complained that their children do not use all the books prescribed on the book list, or that they cannot pass on the books to their younger children. That is now history, as the Ministry of Education has moved to carry out a thorough reform of the book lists in government schools. So now there's a ministry-approved book list that parents can buy from to give their children the tools to academic success. So parents, be sure to check the papers or call the Ministry of Education for the approved book lists for your children. At registration, parents should have been given a drawing of what the uniform should look like, including specifications such as length, color, and style. This would have given parents time to have the uniform sewn or bought. The correct color socks, shoes, hair accessories, bag, and watch would have also been on the list of proper school attire, so be sure to revisit the list to see if you have bought the right things. Last-minute stops to the local bookstore for stationery and school supplies are now in order. And whether you're using public or private transportation to get your child to and from school, it's always a good idea to do dry runs to map out the shortest routes. So now that you've covered registration, filled out the medical examination form, followed the book list and uniform requirements, you and your child are ready for the upcoming school year.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting. Think.
Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act. Choose the best option and do something about it. Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
We don't want the new school year to catch you flat-footed, especially in the kitchen. You can thank me later.
Breakfast is said to be the most important meal of the day. But how often have we been having breakfast? We've been skipping breakfast morning after morning. Do we really want to pass on this poor health practice to our children? I don't think so. So we've decided to get some help. The Grenville campus of the Hartress NTA's Northwest TVET Institute has offered to render some assistance by giving us some quick and easy meal ideas that's fit for the entire family. Our facilitator today is sous chef Randy Plummer. Thanks for having us, Randy.
Hi Sandra, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome to Grenville campus. Today we'll be doing some healthy, nutritious meals just to give parents and caregivers a workable example of what they can do in no time.
So before we get into business, Randy, why is it so important for us to have a healthy breakfast?
Well, it's important to have a healthy breakfast because the body, throughout the night, the body loses all the nutrients that it would have gotten in the day. And what the breakfast does now, it introduces new nutrients to the body, giving the body energy so you can carry out given tasks throughout the day. Also, studies have shown where students who have, or children who have healthy breakfast, they tend to concentrate better in school or at their work.
Some of us parents can hardly find time to send our children to school on time, much less cook meals in the mornings. What do you recommend?
Well, there's a whole lot of easy breakfast ideas. Simple thing, just as a boiled egg with some tomatoes, introducing protein along with vitamin C. Another example, oatmeal porridge with raisins. Oats is a good source of fiber. Raisins a good source of vitamin C also. So there are many ways that you can do simple dishes that doesn't take much time.
Okay, so with that said, let's get started.
Okay. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I have assisting me, Sapphire. We're doing some easy breakfast meal ideas. The meals are so easy to prepare, so you can have your children assist you. Today we'll be preparing mackerel croquettes. The ingredients are mackerel, escallion, mixed vegetables, red onions, and white onions. Also, we'll be using the breading process. The ingredients for the breading process are flour, egg wash, and the breadcrumb. For children who suffer from celiac disease, instead of using our regular breadcrumb, you can use the gluten-free breadcrumb. So what we'll be doing now is basically adding all our ingredients and mixing them together. So first we'll add the sweet potato. And sweet potato is rich in iron and potassium. We'll add the mackerel flakes.
So Randy, how long does this meal usually take to prepare?
It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So what I would suggest to parents who work and have no time to prepare the meals in the morning, prep all ingredients from overnight, put them in the fridge, and then go ahead and deep fry them in the morning. And that will take the most 3 minutes. So what I'll have Sapphire doing now is just mixing the ingredients for me. Okay, well done, Sapphire. We'll now add some eggs for binding. Just mix the ingredients thoroughly. What we're going to do now is make some mini balls. So just squash everything together. It's almost the size of a golf ball. So we then coat it in flour, then egg wash, then breadcrumb. Sapphire is going to help me make one of the balls. Take up a small amount, squash it together. Squash it. Squash it with your hands like that. Squash it and just gently roll it. So well done, Sapphire.
Okay, and how many of these balls do you usually recommend?
Normally for age group 5 to 11, I would recommend 8 ounces. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 of these balls. And portion control is very important because the correct portioning of food alleviates obese children. You have a whole lot of obese children all across the world, and overeating is one of the main factors. And now we'll move to the fryer. We're going to fry these croquettes until they are golden brown. And this should take no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And the taste is very great. So the mothers and single mothers who have a short period on their hands to prepare breakfast in the morning, this is one of the easier way to go. And it's very nutritious. As you saw, we had a lot of vegetables in there, along with the mackerel that is rich in omega-3. You know, omega-3 is good for heart health. It prevents against heart disease. If you are a vegetarian, you can use veggie chunks or veggie mince.
Quick and easy to prepare and also nutritious. Don't they look nice? Wow, this is really good. Come here, help yourself.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you could save a life when you're on the road.
I'm seeing an increased number of requests for assistance to pay for registration packages. And there is a sense that the more expensive the school is, the more exclusive it is, and the better the performance is going to be. And every parent wants the best for their child, so they're going to find the money. Now, I'm not saying that the parents must not contribute, but sometimes we miss the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is to make sure that no child, regardless of the income status of their household, is in any way deprived of education. As it was when we started Common Entrance, before we got independence, to when we changed over to GSAT, to now we changed to PEP, is to get all Jamaicans into the education system with a fair chance of getting a solid education so that they can actualize and fulfill themselves.
And that's where we draw the curtains down on another Jamaica magazine. Catch up on this and past shows by visiting jis.gov.jm or our YouTube channel. The information also flows on all the major social media sites and on our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
JAMPRO aims to increase the export of non-traditional products and of course support the development of Jamaican MSMEs. To that end, they've partnered with the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to launch the third installment of Export Max. I'm Theodore Henry for Business Access TV. Stay with us.
It is good to be here. And it's a pleasure joining you for the launch of the third iteration of this program. This morning's event is a fitting tribute to the industry players and signals a great promise for the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and the importance that has been placed on export diversification. This launch seeks to build on the success of Exports Max 1 and 2, which together recorded over $2.2 billion in sales. Indeed, its previous success sets the stage for the implementation of this third iteration, which we are now undertaking on a much larger scale. Let me take this opportunity to commend the JAMPRO on conceptualizing and taking us this far with this program. And let's welcome our new Export Max partners, the Jamaica Business Development Corporation and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. With their strengths, we'll be joining forces to improve and efficiently manage and implement the program. And I'd like to thank our sponsors and future participants. You have signed up for a game-changing program that will have national impact. Jamaica has strong export potential and growing export capacity. The imperative for achieving greater export performance and thus realizing export-led growth and global competitiveness in our exports as part of the export strategy is therefore of extreme size in order to be fully integrated into the world economy in a manner that allows us to elevate our position on the global value chain and supply chains. Jamaica has been standing still for too long. Standing still while our trading partners have been taking steps to implement best practices for business and trade-friendly environments. This ministry, therefore, through its agencies, is seeking to attain greater diversification in the export industry by achieving higher value addition in priority tech sectors, increasing the value of non-traditional export of goods through increased volume and higher value addition, increasing the contribution of services exports as a percentage of our overall exports, including our creative industries, and increasing penetration in existing markets and accessing new and emerging markets. And let me add to that the specifics, some specifics which I want you to implant in your minds. There are 3 distinct underdeveloped markets. Let me just mention what those 3 are. The tourism industry. Too much of the fresh and processed foods that they consume are coming in on the planes with the tourists. And we have the capacity to supply them. Second, CARICOM. 16 countries in CARICOM. All of them are net importers of food, fresh and processed. Yet, we export precious little to CARICOM, and we have the privilege of exporting it duty-free. And what's the third significant market? The Jamaican diaspora. In Canada, the United States, and England, the market is as big as Jamaica. Somebody from London told me recently that because they cannot get what they want in Jamaica, they import the stuff from Africa and slap a Jamaican label on it. Castor oil, by the way. A lot of castor oil that is now being sold internationally with the Jamaica label on it. The raw material is not from Jamaica. Unacceptable. So as government, we are committed to promoting brand Jamaica to the world, identifying new trade and investment opportunities in order to spur economic growth. My ministry will continue to work with critical stakeholders to enable them to capitalize on opportunities in the export market, as more than ever, greater focus must be placed on growing our economy through exports. One of the things that the ministry is committed to doing is changing the soft infrastructure that will support the growth of trading across borders. To this end, a few weeks ago, we launched a trade facilitation portal that will house the information about all the various processes that underpin trading across our borders. It is our vision that the Trade Information Portal will be the central source of information that will ensure that if someone is an exporter, or even if they are dreaming about being an exporter, they need only to visit this one place that will provide them with all the knowledge they need to navigate the trading process. On the heels of this, we are also excited about the progress that we are making in implementing a single trade electronic window for the government, which will see all the various government processes integrated into a single online system that will allow for all trade-related transactions to be done online, supported by a robust risk management system to protect the country's borders and its reputation overseas. And so ExportMax is only one more prong in the government's network of activities that will allow for the framework for each and every exporter to experience success, and ultimately for us to achieve economic growth and prosperity in Jamaica.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
So,
welcome. So let me start out by asking Dan, Export Max, I know Export Max started within Jampro. Why Export Max 3 and what makes it different this time around?
Okay, thanks Claude, and good morning ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to be here at the launch of Export Max 3. Why are we doing Export Max 3? It's actually one of the programs that I'm proudest of in my time at Jampro. I think that, as the minister said, export is one of our critical pieces, is critical in our lifeblood. It's in our DNA. We have to export. We're a small island nation. We have tremendous products. We need to take them to the world in a more organized, systematic way where we respect standards, we understand the adaptability of our products to market demands, where we understand the markets that we are trying to penetrate. Export Max is that program. The results that we got out of Export Max 1 and 2 show what a deliberate program can do, where you start by diagnosing what does the product need to be adapted to market demand, what evolution needs to go on in the company itself. So it's not just the product, but it's also the management that must have the right mindset to penetrate international markets. So we're identifying that demand, identifying the market trends, helping the companies to adapt their products, and that mentorship, which we brought on in Export Max 2, is a critical component, because the ones who are successful must help the ones who have not started yet or who have not yet been successful. So that was the innovation of Export Max 2. And what we decided in Export Max 3 is that to more than double the number of companies in the program, we really couldn't do it alone anymore, because Export Max is a really labor-intensive and brain-intensive project. It needs a lot of time spent hand-holding companies, explaining export to them, helping their management to be ready. So we really needed the help of our partners, and we are really, really proud and excited and energized that we have two such fantastic partners, as well as the other sponsors who have come on board, because we need more expertise, we need more hands on deck. Export is not easy. Standards in the international market are constantly becoming more critical, more difficult. So we needed partners on board who could help us to interpret some of the issues on the international market, some of the standards. You see Bureau of Standards is on board, and also to help galvanize those exporters to greater effort and to greater understanding. And then we needed the business development side that JBUC can bring to really help companies to develop their business plans, develop their loan applications, to become more formalized, develop their bookkeeping acumen. We think this is one of the most important programs that Jampro and the country have ever created, because we think that this is an integrated way of taking our MSMEs the next step forward. We are very excited, and we just want to have more participation from the MSME community, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's when you start on that journey of trying to understand how do I get from point A to point B that you start to realize what it is you don't know and how and where you can find help. So really this is a plea to and a stimulus and an encouragement and almost a demand of the SME sector listening to us today. You need to get on board, because this program can change your life professionally and change your export horizons.
Okay. Valerie, you decided without hesitation, came on board. Why did you see training and capacity building as such important components for exporters?
Our logo speaks for what we do, which is business development in the fulsomeness of it, and how can we help you. So we know for sure that capacity building is even beyond that thing called training. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty of the companies, the enterprises, looking at the concept, if it makes sense, whether local or external market, putting the proper structures in place, and as Dan says, formalizing the business.
Right.
It means governance
Right.
have to be in place. You have to know your numbers to know what stories are coming out. Worst, if you're thinking of exporting, you have to be really secure in moving forward.
Right.
So we have been spending a lot of time with our client group preparing them for the market, because for us, global market is right here in Jamaica.
Right.
So standards must be in place. Governance must be in place.
Right.
And you must be thinking business.
Okay.
And I agree with Dan, we have to get over that hump of doing a little thing
Right.
until some big job comes along, because it's not going to come along. So it means that we have to be innovative,
Right.
and we have to be on target for moving forward. We're going to be looking, as we said, as we had agreed, at all the innovative industries that have the possibilities for export. So food, niche markets, high quality, value-added products, non-food, services, certainly the technology-based industries and the creative industries in all aspects have to be part of that big umbrella. Our
Right.
mandate is to help them.
Right.
So even if they come
Right.
and they're not ready for Export Max,
Right.
it doesn't mean that they can't be in the passageway.
Okay.
So they need not hesitate. They
Right.
need to come forward.
Right.
If they're not in that lane,
Right.
it means you go and prepare them for
Okay.
whatever is appropriate. So
Right.
there is no reason to sit and wonder if.
Okay.
You need to come forward and let us work together and see which lane you are really in.
Right.
And if you happen to move into this fast track, no, that's wonderful. If not, you're on the way to preparation.
that's it.
Because we must export. Dan keeps saying export or that. I think we have been in coma because we're waiting to die.
When we look at the program, or we look at life, we always like to say nobody born big. We all are a product of training, exposure, and experience. And you almost need all three in the right combination to be successful. So in the area of mentorship and advocacy, I think JMEA coming on board, which will have a portfolio of businesses that are already exporting, play a very important role. So I'd love to hear from you, Metri. Tell us in plain terms, how do you see the JMA supporting this effort and your decision to come on board?
Well, when I heard Diane and Valerie speak, I realized that what we have here is a perfect marriage.
Okay.
2 women and 1 man. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, what we have is a perfect marriage here.
Right.
Because what we have is the JMEA that has the base of membership. Our membership base is about 400 companies, most of which and many of which are small to medium-sized companies, which is the base that we need. Then we have Valerie, who is going to do the business development process, and then Jumper that's going to deal with the export market.
Right.
What we bring to the table is a lot of hand-holding. We are about solving problems and solving issues.
Right.
So they're going to have issues. There's no question about it.
Right.
I think one of the ways we could say it is that we're a big brother to the companies, and we hold their hands and we walk with them through the process. We just go, Valerie will take them to a particular stage, and then we will take them from there until we're ready to hand them off to Jampro to really go and do the export. But I wanted to say that the JMEA is fully committed to this program. That's why we have joined. We recognize how important it is. And as Diane said, it is probably one of the most important initiatives that any agency in Jamaica has put in place. The numbers speak for themselves, and we hope to be a part of this process going forward for a long time to come.
How does one apply for the program? Could you give some thoughts on that?
Thank you. I was hoping you'd ask that question. We have a kiosk at the back. We have several Jampro members of our team here. We have an expression of interest form, which you can get from our team at the back. Copies of the form are also available from the various agencies and on our website, www.dobusinessjamaica.com. You can download this expression of interest form and send it in, and we will be happy to contact you and start the journey with you, because this is a journey. It's a 3-year program. This is really about helping you through a process and on a journey to success. Tell your associates, people you know who have a product or who even have an idea. They can start talking to JBDC from the idea stage. So let's create a movement that can change export.
Thank you, Dan. So I'll throw it out. Any final thoughts?
This is an example, the collaboration, the example how we in Jamaica should work together.
Right.
Because no one institution or person has all the skills, all the information.
Correct.
And until we start putting the ego behind the door and working together, we're not going to move. So I'm celebrating from JBDC the kind of collaboration that we have agreed to have between our agencies. I think it's a good move, and we know success is down the lane.
Metri, any final
In
thoughts?
closing, I would ask everybody in this room, when you leave here today, call 5 persons that you know that are in business. Let us be oversubscribed.
Yes.
Let us have that problem. Let us reach back out to our sponsors and tell them that we need more from them, because this is good for Jamaica.
Thank you, Metri.
We have some Export Max graduates in the audience, and I think it's important not only to hear from us, but to hear from people who are actually on the program. So dare I say that Rita Hilton is on his
They're going to be on the program.
So Rita, Omar, I think you're all going to talk later on. So.
All right, a round of applause for the head of agencies. Thank you very much.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up a Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
I'm going to invite some past Export Max participants to speak. Rita Hilton from Carita, Jamaica, and Omar Azan, CEO Boss Furniture. So in the spirit of ladies first, I'm going to ask Rita Hilton to come and just give a couple of remarks about her experience with Export Max.
I think this is a great opportunity. Having benefited from Export Max 2, I'd like to highlight some of the things that made it so important for me and what the results have been like. It was important for me because it allowed me to step into the Caribbean export market. Carita has been in business for 34 years, and our whole business is aligned with exports. We were primarily involved in fresh produce exports, but recently we've been adding value to Jamaican products and trying to build up that component of bringing more value to Jamaica. Now, with Export Max 2, what did I benefit from? Going into the Caribbean market, which I didn't know at all, and I have to tell you that out of that, we have one concrete market which we opened in the Bahamas. And that partner has been so impressed with our output that they have come with a proposal to invest in our company and buy equity into our company. I learned that I wasn't really completely prepared to take advantage of all the opportunities. So if you're going into Export Max 3, come with an open mind. You think you know it, you don't know it. Learn, absorb, and execute. You need to have a partner on the ground in the territory that you're going to be working with that will teach you about that market and the market needs. It's not Jamaica, and it is not the globe. It is a very special type of market, and each market has its own needs. So keep an open mind, learn from the opportunities. What was wonderful is the amount of work that Jampro put in before we went into the markets. And that was the critical success of the Export Max 2. Into every territory that we went, there were buyers available, and it wasn't the underlings that came to the market opportunities. They were high level personnel that came to talk business and to do business. The other thing that I learned so much from is the capacity building. You think you know how to run a business? Well, you don't, because the way you start is not the way you grow and keep on growing. You see all this white hair? That comes from years and years of learning. I started as a high school teacher, and our exports have reached close to $3 million US. And those are sales. That is not money to spend. That's money that you invest back in your business after you've paid the expenses. So don't think that you've achieved success and can drive a Mercedes-Benz. I still drive a pickup, okay?
I'll just say that for me, for my company, it's been an amazing experience. The team has been behind. There are times when I wasn't even up to doing some of the things, and they came and sat in my office and said, Omar, listen, we need you to get this thing done. And they would push me to do it. Today, I'll say historical. This is our first time in history that our company has receivables. Today, I checked it this morning, from 14 different countries owing me money at the end of this month to pay me, to pay my suppliers, where I think at the end of this month, I can probably pay all the suppliers I owe from just a foreign exchange earning. So that is a huge, huge, huge difference than where I was a few years ago. This is an excellent thing that Jampro is doing. I'll say it. You know me, I talk the truth every time I come up on the podium to speak. And, you know, we need to just get everybody behind this. Our Jamaican people, our staff in our factories, we need to push our exports to get this country going. Thank you.
I am inspired and excited this morning. And I want, on behalf of the entire team, Jampro, JMEA, JBDC, I just want to say thank you all for coming out and hearing this program and participating in this launch. So we're going to take you into the Caribbean, Europe, and the USA to sell your goods and services and to return with those all-important contracts and to deliver on the promise that you would have made to be a champion exporter. I expect this program will be a positive, life-changing experience for you and your businesses. So where do we go from here? The steps are very easy. We are inviting all business owners here to complete the registration expression of interest form. Following the expression of interest, you'll be required to complete a more in-depth application form. The deadline for submission will be January 30, 2019. Final selection of participants will be done by March 15, 2019. And by April, MOUs with all the participants will be signed, and that's when the real work begins. But it will be exciting, it will be fun.
This has been the launch of Export Max 3, and I've been your host, Theodore Henry. Keep watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Do you want to build your company's capacity or export your products or services to new global markets? Then you can be a part of Export Max 3, an enterprise development program for Jamaican companies. Sign up today. Applications close January 31, 2019. Expand your business for export growth. Visit dobusinessjamaica.com for details. Export Max 3, grow beyond borders. It's brought to you by Jampro, JMEA, and JBDC.
business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
You're watching Business Access TV. Business Access. Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Lexmark Technologies Limited was the major partner at the first AmCham President's Breakfast for 2018, and Business Access TV has the highlights. Stay with us.
Jodel, for persons who may not know much about Lexmark, share with us what you offer.
Okay, great. Well, we're not the old Lexmark where most people knew Lexmark as just being primarily a printer manufacturer. In fact, we're an imaging solution services company that serve customers in 170 countries across the globe. We're a global company essentially. And as ironic as it may sound, Lexmark has spent probably the last 15 years trying to help customers print less with some of our imaging solutions. And that's mainly because we understand that there's really two major challenges that a lot of customers find is trying to manage between two very connected but different types of information, paper and digital. And our focus is to help when that intersection of paper and digital comes, and how do we help customers manage through that with our solutions and our services.
You're headquartered in USA, Lexington, Kentucky to be exact. How do you see your relationship prospects in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean?
Well, for me, I think it's a great opportunity for us. In fact, I think it's been untapped by an organization like Lexmark. While we're global, we have a primary focus in the U.S., or a strong presence in the U.S., I should say. We've been trying to ramp up our headcount in the Caribbean, and with the Caribbean being an extension of Latin America, we've been able to push resources towards it and understand that there's tons of opportunities. Without speaking on some of the customers we've just recently been able to obtain in the Caribbean, there's quite a few, and we're looking to grow beyond that. And but us being here today is one example of how we're certainly looking to enhance our efforts in the Caribbean.
Allow me to extend a warm Jamaican Bunununos welcome to you this morning. It's going to be great. My name is Nadine McLeod-Dyke. I'm your guide through the program this morning. This is the first AmCham President's Breakfast for 2018. And this breakfast is to showcase the new member, Lexmark, and to welcome them to Jamaica's business sector. We would also like to welcome other new members and not so new members. Welcome. Help us welcome. It is great to be here this morning. It is terrific to see familiar faces and not so familiar faces, new faces. I must say, networking this morning is going to be as stimulating as a nice, well-brewed, freshly brewed cup of Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. And talk about stimulating, we can also talk about effervescent, which leads us to our next speaker, who can be described as effervescent. And she's, of course, the president of AmCham Jamaica, Miss Alison Peart. Help me welcome her.
Friends, thanks again. A brief statement about the breakfast, because one of the things I said when I took over as president was we're going to push networking. It's wonderful to be a member of an organization, but if you don't know each other, you don't know each other's business, you don't talk to each other, then are you really an organization? So this is part of that push. And as a well-known international chamber, we're one of the largest federated business organizations in the world. People think of AmCham as just the US, but we're in over 100 countries that when you're part of AmCham, you can touch, you can feel. You know, here at AmCham Jamaica, we want our members to know about us, know about the world, know about the US, have great connections. So, if you're an AmCham member, a President's Breakfast is available for you to come, host, and promote and market yourself. Now, we are pleased to see that Lexmark, one of our newest members, you know, I love members, we want you to get to know the services of our members. So Lexmark is not just a printing company. I hear they're in everything, you know. People think I'm an accountant, but I keep saying I did a chemistry degree. Nowadays, you must do everything. So I'm sure they're gonna come and tell us about everything that they do. And our President Breakfast, we add value because we not only give you networking, but you get to learn about the wonderful products and the wonderful things that our AmCham members are doing.
Economic growth in Jamaica over the last 10 years, we'd say, has demonstrated periods of growth, but interspersed with instances of decline, typically caused by external shocks. And so we are very vulnerable, we're very susceptible to climate impact. And so a lot of our focus now, and rightly so, and I think heightened by the experiences of the last year in the region, is on building climate resilience for the economy. It's not enough that we can forecast a certain growth level for agriculture and for mining and quarrying, and then you have an episode of adverse weather and you have to revise downward. And we want to see, how do we insulate, how do we build, how do we mitigate against these climate impacts. And so the government of Jamaica started in 2010, on a number of initiatives and reforms supported by the IMF. In 2010, we have the standby arrangement. 2013, we had the extended fund facility of the IMF, the EFF. And then in late 2016, we have what we have here now, the precautionary standby arrangement, the PSBA. And really, it's the government's medium-term economic program supported by the multilaterals. So largely think of the IMF, but robust support comes from the World Bank, from the Inter-American Development Bank, from the Caribbean Development Bank, from the EU, quite a bit of multilateral and bilateral support. Jamaica enjoys very good relations with quite a few of our international development partners, and that's significant. Another significant feature is in the context of this reform program, that in all the initiatives that have been undertaken, we've seen what we call political continuity, that even as administrations change, there's general consensus and ownership and buy-in about the program and the tenets of the program. We agree as to what needs to be done in terms of trying to right-size the Jamaican economy to experience and to create conditions of greater economic growth and job creation, because you can have a period of jobless growth, as you saw, as economies emerged out of the 2008 crisis, the global financial crisis. You saw economies, the US in particular, growing, but no jobs were being created. And there was some concern there. And then another concern, you have to look at the issue of inequality, that as economies are growing, you can find widening disparities in income levels, the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer. And you know that's not sustainable, that's not tenable. And so we speak of inclusive growth and job creation to try to mitigate and have this balanced growth phenomenon. With all the activity that you're seeing, how come the growth numbers are not more robust? And we said the activities that you're seeing are genuine and they are real activities, and a lot of this is happening in the real sector, in the formal sector, as against in the informal sector. Yes, we are attended by a significant level of informality in the Jamaican economy. Some years ago, they estimated some 40% of GDP is informal sector. But when you say informality, it's not all illegal activities. You can have genuine activities taking place, but people want to remain below the radar And so we have to create conditions to induce formality. And that's why a grouping such as this and seeing a number of business persons coming together and people who are looking at opportunities, creating employment, very encouraging. And so you see genuine activity taking place. Part of the challenge is a lot of the activity, particularly the construction you're seeing, a lot of the construction, there is a high leakage content to a lot of what's happening, that a lot of the material that's being employed and so are coming in from abroad. There's a lot of imports. So you see the imports numbers going up even while you see the activity going on. But no doubt it's very encouraging for the types of activities that we are seeing, and it should promise increased growth. And so while you see some of the Asian tigers, in terms of the Singapores and the Koreas, as they began to experience the growth over the 80s and 90s, it took some time for that to be entrenched. We are undertaking and have undertaken quite a bit of reform, and it will take some time for that to begin to take root. A lot of the construction you're seeing, from road construction to residential and non-residential construction, as those are completed, you should see a reduction in transaction costs, as it's easier to conduct and transact business, easier to get from point A to point B. Labor supply is closer to where production is taking place because of the types of residential and non-residential construction. As you see the construction in hotel room capacity, there's a time 10 years ago that if you had a double and tripling of tourism demand, it wouldn't benefit us much. We could only increase prices because we had a limited stock of rooms. But now you're seeing the type of expansion that increases the capacity of the economy. As you increase room stock, as you bring in more flights and increase flight frequency and increase air seat capacity, those are the things that all go well for an economy. As you begin to convert idle factory space, and you're creating spaces for BPOs and other investors, and you're creating lands and converting lands to productive uses, those are the types of reforms that increase the capacity of the economy. And those are the things that all go well for the types of sustainable growth we want. So the current year, fiscal year 17-18 that just ended, and so for our new investors, we run the April to March fiscal year cycle. And so for March 2018 that just ended, that was the fiscal year 17-18. And so let's look at some of the numbers. We expect the Jamaican economy to grow by some 0.9%. And this would be the fifth consecutive year of fiscal year growth in terms of growing over 5 years. And that's significant for us. Again, the numbers, we want them to be higher, more robust in terms of larger numbers of growth. But it's still significant that we are seeing, consecutive growth. And we're expecting that to be entrenched, meaning we expect that to continue and to increase. And we're going to speak to what we call the upside potential for higher growth levels, and as well as the downside risk. What are those factors that can cause them to not materialize? But we expect for 0.9% for the April to March 17-18 fiscal year. It reflects an estimated expansion in both the goods producing and services industries. The growth outturn is predicated on the combined effect of actual GDP growth for the first 3 quarters of the fiscal year, April to June 2017. You had a decline in the economy, largely because of some significant rains we had. March, April, May, June, 4 months of rain. And let me say it for our visitors in particular, 4 months of rain that caused 4 billion damage, Jamaican dollars. That's 0.2% of our 2016 GDP. We do the damage and loss assessments, and the numbers came, and that's just from 4 months of rain. The flooding and the infrastructure damage, and the images are stark. And so it's not just damage in the agricultural sector, agriculture, forestry, and fishing, but also mining and quarrying, and a lot of factory downtime. So even while they were trying to build capacity, putting in new broilers and trying to expand, as the heavy rains came, it caused a lot of downtime. And so we are very susceptible, and it's a concern, and obviously on the radar for us as policymakers. And so for April to June 2017, we had a decline of 0.1% in real GDP. July to September 2017, we had 0.8% growth. And for October to December 2017, we had 1.1% growth. And then for January to March, we're going to go to the country later this month to give our typical update. What we do, 6 weeks after the quarter ends, we will update and give our assessment. And as PIOJ, the Planning Institute, and then Statin, after 3 months, a quarter after the quarter that has ended, they will give the actual outturn. And so while we predicted for December 1.1% forecasted, the actual growth was 1.1%. And so we take it, a very robust team at the PIOG, and we as these things go, you have a band of, 0.5% or 2% band that you may be off, and that's considered best practice. That's very good if you are that, but we are fairly well within that in terms of accuracy of forecast. So we'll go to the country later and give an estimate. Some data is still coming in, but at this point we're looking at likely maybe a 1.7% for the January to March quarter 2018. And so combined, we're expecting at about a 0.9% for the fiscal year. The growth largely reflects improved outturn in the key macroeconomic variables, higher levels of employment, and an uptick in industrial production. We follow the industrial production index, and yes, what you are seeing is real. Production is increasing, and that's very encouraging. We are seeing increased real sector performance, boosted mainly by the reopening of the Alpart alumina refinery, plant expansion, and increased capacity utilization. So they are building out capacity and using up more of what is there. We have seen strong growth in tourism arrivals, and as we've said, it was hit, the overall numbers, by the heavy rainfall we had over the last year. We had a drought period just before the heavy rainfall, so the vagaries of climate continue to impact us, and it particularly affected agriculture, forestry, and fishing, and the mining and quarrying, and the electricity and water supply industries.
Hi, my name is Jodell Felix. I'm a strategic segment consultant with Lexmark International, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round view monitor, and hill start assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
With another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Lexmark provides imaging solutions and services to help customers like you to print, to protect, and to manage your output environment, not just the printer manufacturer. So that's why I want to make sure I mention that. But what truly separates Lexmark from the rest of the industry, from our whole competitive landscape in terms of print, is our industry expertise, is who we serve. So we have hired for many years, we have 25 years of experience in understanding the trends, the challenges that come in some of the various vertical industries we serve. So what's traditionally known in the print industry is that you think of brands like Hewlett-Packard, where Lexmark may not necessarily have the brand recognition as you will find with some of the other competitors. But what we've done is that we have serviced some of the top customers in the various industries. And what I mean by that is, for example, 9 out of the top 10 global banks are all Lexmark customers. 85% of the top retailers in the world globally are Lexmark customers. 48 of the top 50 pharmacies are Lexmark customers. You know, it's funny because Rebecca and I had an engagement with a customer in the US once, and we sat down with this customer. And I made some observations as far as what they were doing, and I said to myself, he's like, I don't know much about Lexmark. So my question is, sir, I'm gonna make the assumption that you own a television in your house. He said, yes. I said, okay, where'd you buy the television? His response was Best Buy. Next question, I said, so I assume at some point, whether it's with yourself or your family, you had to purchase some medications. So where'd you go get the medication? He said, CVS Pharmacy. I said, okay. I took it a step further. I then asked, do you have children? Yes. Where do they attend school? They attend school at Miami-Dade County Schools. Excellent. And then my final question for him, I then go, so with your home, I assume that you have home improvement projects and things of that nature. He said, yes. I said, so where do you buy your home improvement products? He goes, Home Depot. My response is, those are all Lexmark customers, every single one of them. And that kind of painted a bigger picture in terms of us not just being a printer manufacturer, but going far beyond just print. So we may not have the highest market share. We certainly have the top customers in some of the various industries that some of you serve today, which is banking, retail, finance, et cetera. So before we make some of these dynamic imaging solutions and services, it's important that we understand what our customers do. I mentioned before that we have industry consultants in some of the various vertical industries. And what we're hearing when we speak to customers like you is that there are a lot of challenges stemming from the very difficult task of having to manage two very different but very connected types of information, and that's digital and paper. I think we can all agree. And there are going to be tons of printed information, whether it's invoices, whether it's, you know, in banking, if you have a prospectus or a loan application or whatever the situation may be, you're still going to have tons of paper information. We understand paper is quite intensive. We understand that many customers still use a lot of paper. And we also understand that it's kind of hard to completely escape from paper. And then you look at the other side of this digital process, and you have things that are electronic, digital files, like an ERP file, like an email. But in the real world, what really happens is they intersect. And it is at this intersection is where you have some of the greatest challenges and the greatest potentials for risk, for data breaches, and all kinds of concerns. And this is where Lexmark thrives. And this is where we can certainly serve our customers and helping our customers manage this intersection of print versus digital. And this is what's happening today.
What was your goal for this morning's breakfast, and was that goal achieved? The goal was to bring information to our members. So we started out with the PIOJ because people hear about growth and we wanted them to understand what was happening in the Jamaican market. You know, a great way to start your morning off to understand how is our employment going? What growth do we expect? What industries should we be investing in? And so I think that was, you know, Dr. Henry did a really good job of that. With Lexmark, we weren't sure if they're just printers, because, you know, I know of Lexmark as, you know, a printing. I didn't know that they did so many things, that they did business solutions around, should you have 2 printers? Should you have 1 printer? I mean, I travel and I'm always walking with people. So the point of putting things in a cloud, and you know, you've heard of the cloud, but what does it really mean? So for me, it accomplished a lot because it gave me more information about Lexmark. What do they do? What can they do for us? So for me, that was accomplished.
We're also almost at the middle of the year 2018. What's next for AmCham?
We have a lot more things. We have a data protection seminar coming up. We're also open to more President's Breakfast. We want our members to come and showcase their products. We also, in June, the American Chamber will be coming to Jamaica. So we're hosting a pretty big event in June where our compatriots are bringing State Department people here to Jamaica. We are also looking to our members for more opportunities to do more for them because we're a member organization and we're not here to dictate to our members. We want them to tell us. So we've got our ears open. We have a meeting coming up with our members to hear from them. What are the other things you want us to do? So we have a lot more coming. We want to do more membership mingles as well.
That's it from us here. Until next time, do stay tuned to Business Access TV, serious about business.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round view monitor, and hill start assist for confidence behind the wheel. Plus, auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this. No more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market. And that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now, in phase one, really what we are saying is it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now in phase 2, you're going to get a return on investment, which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
I'm Kito Akwanza, co-founder and CEO of Island Eyewear.
And I'm Jordan Akwanza, co-founder and COO of Island Eyewear. Island Eyewear started February 28, 2004. It was small beginnings. We didn't have computers, we didn't have all the equipment necessary, but we had a lot of passion and a clear idea of what we wanted to achieve.
I had some previous work experience as a youngster. I had experience working in a syrup factory for one of my uncles, and my other uncle I work with, he's an ophthalmologist, so I ended up working in his laboratory for some time, you know, summer jobs and so. I ended up working for my mother. She had a small store there in New Kingston called New Kingston Optical.
We cater to everyone. We are so fortunate. We have products to fit everyone. We offer primary eye care. That is basically refractions to the eyes to determine if you need eyeglasses or not. We do offer complete lab service. We are one of the few optical companies in the island with a complete surfacing lab where we manufacture prescription lenses. Our customers are able to receive their eyeglasses within 1 hour, 2 hours, or 24 hours. We also have a wide variety of frames, varying from $1,400 to $5,900, and that is our factory direct collection, designed to cater for everyone. And we also have brand names, very popular designer frames. We have a wide variety of prescription lenses. Sensation is one of our most popular brands of lenses that are photosensitive. They turn dark in the sun. We also offer upgrades as anti-reflective coating, polycarbonate, that are very, very popular and help to protect your eyes from things like glare and UV.
The money came from an investor / a business partner and family member. My mother had some savings, just enough to get us started with the business. We had to prioritize when it comes to what to do with the money. I said the money wasn't that much. We basically did the renovations for the store with the cheapest material possible. We bought some the important equipment, the ones that you can't do without. You're in eye care, so you have to have the best equipment to deal with the eyes. As Jordan mentioned, we didn't have computers because we didn't really need them at the time, just starting out. Without the profits, we wouldn't be able to grow as we have. We've recently been growing quite fast. We depend on the profits for that.
We get requests through various portals. We get phone calls, We get requests on social media mainly. We also have a team that goes to several locations where we don't have stores to promote. And we just listen to the people and what the people want and where they want us. We recently opened a store in Morambe, and our customer base in Morambe is just so lovely, and they welcome us to the town, and they were so happy to have us, and we were so happy to be there to serve them. Our locations definitely help. We are very environmentally conscious. The environment is very important to us. Right now we have 13 locations, and we look forward to continue growing and bringing more locations to every single parish in the island. With the popularity of the internet, it's being more easy for us to reach everyone who is interested and join our team. We have a website where persons submit the applications. After that, our HR manager, who is our right hand in the hiring process with over 15 years of experience, goes through a selection based on qualifications, education, experience, interpersonal skills, and the ability to be able to change, evolve, and be a team player.
Each employee understands that they're not only responsible for their own success, but the success of the fellow employee. We encourage employees to become shareholders, to encourage this culture of solidarity. In fact, there are probably over 10 current shareholders of the company that are employed to the company.
On a typical day, being a couple, we work together, we live together, we start our day very early. We head to the office, and we have children that we have to take to school. You'll be surprised, but some days we don't even see each other because he's dealing with a section of the business and I'm working with another part of the business. So we will head to our headquarters, and I will run over all the different things that happened the day before and what we need to achieve for that day. That has to do with operations. And,
I mean, basically, we really have nobody. We don't have the luxury of somebody to tell us or remind us of what is to be done in a given day. So we have to really have a certain discipline and presence of mind and alertness about what we're trying to achieve. We have to try to prioritize for each day, because you can become overwhelmed by a lot of different things.
Yeah. Basically, we start at 9 to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays, and 10 to 3 p.m. on a Saturday, and we adjusted from there after we have gotten a feedback from our customers and get a better feel of the area that we are located at.
Being an entrepreneur has its ups and downs, like everything else in life. I mean, it's quite encouraging when you see people grow, people you have met grow in a positive direction, and the disappointments are often also where you see people take the bad direction. The fact is that being an entrepreneur, you have a lot of encounters with people. You meet a lot of people as you try to build a team. So you probably you're going to end up with more instances of these things, encouragement and also disappointment.
It has affected us in a positive way, where we have a bigger reach to people and we're able to make a bigger impact on persons that we encounter in life, whether it's through the business or whether it's through offering them the service that we're here to offer. And it also has, in some way, had a little of a downfall because we don't get the family time that we ideally should have. It's that balance, work, family, work, life. It doesn't really exist. We don't really visualize it. So it's just being able to spend more family time together that we have been missing. But hopefully, as time goes along and our team grows and we're able to delegate more, we'll be able to enjoy that side of being an entrepreneur as well, which is the ideal freedom of time.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
We are very aware of our surroundings and we take from everything. And we are very open-minded to everything. So we might get suggestions from a customer that come into the store, and we will just go ahead and implement it to our business. And we also hear from our team members. They are the most valuable asset that we have. And when it comes to giving us feedback and ideas on how to be more efficient, we have found throughout the years that the best way to build a successful customer base is through customer service. Once the customer service is perfect, once we're able to delight our customers, they will be our customers for life. Also, giving back to the community has proven very effective to building our customer base. One of the challenges that it don't really stop us from our from what we want to achieve. And I'm sure every single entrepreneur in Jamaica is facing this, is the lack of trust and the lack of support from lending companies. If you have a business, it is very difficult to find support from lenders. Even though we didn't depend on them, it would have helped us reach more people. Apart from that, also the fact that Jamaica is not equipped with schools for our field. There is no schools to educate people on how, for optometry-based jobs. That's another challenge that we face. But then again, we don't let challenges stop us from what we want to achieve and how we want to do it. We always find our ways to be able to bring service to customers. So we have taken profitability from our company to grow our business. We have applied intensive training to our teams to help them learn more and educate more, so we offer a perfect service to our customers.
As an entrepreneur, there are no failures. You fail when you stop. There's no way to prevent mistakes. We try our best, but mistakes will always happen. How you deal with the mistakes, though, is really what tells what you're all. Is what tells what you're all about. If you are willing to stand behind your mistakes and correct them. I mean, I've seen Jordi done so much in that regard. Whenever we drop the ball, and we're ever so understanding of the fact that there is somebody who is affected by this mistake, and they're not going to sympathize with our shortfalls. So we just have to make it right. Yeah. I mean, Jordi can tell them more about that.
With the damage control now, we start from insertion. We start from the core. We start from the moment that we select the frames that we're going to offer to our customers. We have to make sure that they're of the best quality and also of the best price, so that this frame can outlast 1 year of wear, so that it doesn't break of rigorous wear and exposure to very high temperatures in this country. So From the core, from the selection process up to the delivery, we use every single step as damage control. If by any chance anything was to happen, and we know that things can go wrong, we always work with our customers. The satisfaction of our customers is our priority, and we always go above and beyond to keep them happy, to make sure that they are satisfied. We prefer to put people, our customers, over our profits. So even if it may represent a loss to the company, we always go above and beyond for them.
Our growth strategy is pretty simple. We grow towards our customers. First of all, we make it very well known what we do. And then we start getting requests. Oh, do you guys have a store here? Do you guys have a store there? We listen. As the requests pile up, we grow towards those requests. For long term now, we have just implemented our plan to achieve energy independence for our company. We began installing solar panels. In fact, some of our laboratories already run on them. One of our labs, our main lab, runs solely on solar power, so we are off the grid. And we plan to achieve this over the long term. Every store, every part of our process will be off the grid.
Part of our plans to make sure that we are here very long, and when I say long, I mean even after we are not around, is to make sure that our teams and everyone coming after that shares our view and understand why we're here and what we want to achieve, so that they can carry on our vision. We don't want Island Eyewear and what we're doing and how we're doing it to end with us. We want it to carry on for generations to come. So we use all the conventional mediums of advertising: television, radio, billboards. In 2010, when the internet started to get more popular, we started using social medias and social media platforms and the internet. It has worked out very positively for us, but up to date, the most effective way of advertising our business is through customer service. Delighting our customers through service is the main way to get a satisfactory campaign out there. You could have the best commercial, you could have the prettiest billboard out there. Once the customer comes to the store, the service is not up to standard, then you wasted your time, your effort, and your money in vain. So customer service, delighting our customers, smiling to them, being transparent with them, educating them, supporting them, and through encouragement to our customers, we have achieved a very, very successful marketing strategy. I believe that the best formula is through hard work and perseverance, never giving up, accepting no as an answer, and turning every downfall or mistakes as a school to learn and help you achieve and get where you want to go. Once you have a clear reason, once you have a clear understanding of what you want to do, why you want to do it, and how you're going to do it, then you are definitely set to be successful.
Success comes from within. Success is much like happiness. No one can decide how happy you are in any one moment. You decide that. It comes from within your own brain, your own mindset. Regardless of what is happening around you. If you feel successful, you are successful.
One of my fears is not being able to deliver. I am not originally from here. English is my second language. So not have been gone to official training on how to run a business, not having that wide educational background that most people in business do, I sometimes fear not being able to deliver a task that I'm presented with, which I find challenging. But then right away, I remember where I'm coming from. I remember where I am right now, and I use that as a storm to bring me forward and achieve that. So right there and then, I just forget everything, carry on, and succeed.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
One of the things that motivates me the most is being able to touch people's lives, the persons who are around us every day, from our team members to our customers, being able to touch everyone and make an impact on our community from the ground up. I find motivation from the persons from every walks of life that visit our stores, that we are helping and we are assisting. My greatest inspiration is my husband. Ever since we met, he has inspired me to always be a better person. And throughout the years, he has achieved that. I always look up to him for everything.
I think as an entrepreneur, my greatest inspiration comes from fellow entrepreneur Marcus Garvey. What he was able to achieve coming from humble beginnings.
The services that we offer, the products that we offer, these are items that you can basically find anywhere else, but you will never find them with the heart that Island Eyewear offer them to you. We all have a very clear understanding of why we're doing what we're doing and how we are going to do it. So when you come to Island Eyewear, it's not just the ambience of the store where you will find attractive. It's not just the smiling team members ready and willing to serve you, but it's the passion behind all of that. It pours out on what we do. My favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur is being able to touch people's lives, to have access to so much people and make a positive impact in them, on every single person that I meet, whether it is somebody that we're doing business with or a customer, just being able to have access to such amazing people that can inspire me and that I can inspire them in return is just one of my favorite things about being an entrepreneur. The success of Island Eyewear is attributed to hard work, passion, and teamwork.
Well, one of my most satisfying moments I could remember, I could recall, is when we just successfully set up our first laboratory. When we started this business, we didn't have our own lab, so we had to use outsource lab work. So when I decided to do that and we actually did it, it was quite satisfying.
The driving force that holds our lives together.
As a couple, we love going to the beach, and we take our family to the beach. And one of my hobbies is paddle boarding. So I enjoy taking my 11-foot long board to the beach on weekends and just drifting away.
Yeah, I enjoy putting a boat in the water at times at the beach. We do that quite often enough. I also tinker with, older cars. I'm a gearhead. I dabble in construction. I enjoy that. I play golf. I like the idea of weight training, although I haven't done that in a while. There are a few things I'm interested in.
So I'm overall a happy person. I consider myself to be happy every day with highlights of more intense happy moments. And for me, what makes me very happy is to be able to spend time with my family and my children. Spending time with them is just so precious to me. It's so intense. Also being able to see our team members grow within the company and professionally, it always makes me super happy. The fact that I'm able to work with my husband and also share a personal life with him, it's just happiness right there.
We've been successful over the years, and we've achieved a certain level of financial freedom, and we're in the frame of mind that we're a long time ready to give back. But we have discussed this, and in our mind, giving back is not something you just do. You see a man out the road and you just give him a little thing or something like that. It must be a systemic thing. It must be ingrained in what you do every single day. So with that said, we have two initiatives that we're embarking on. We have started the implementation of them. We have a pilot project there in Papine where we put some of the recycled bins, because we've identified this problem. I think this problem affects everybody. So we've started this project where we install easy-to-use recycle receptacles, and where people just drop their plastic bottles, which I think is a non-biodegradable item. With Framing Futures, we intend to have a huge impact on the future of our people by allowing somebody, a child who would not have been able to achieve to their fullest just because of impairment, vision impairment. We want to make sure every child at least gets one pair of glasses in their lives from us. So we have chosen the age of between 9 and 11 because that's right before you start preparing for your GSAT exams. We will be giving eyeglasses to every child who needs one. My advice to young entrepreneurs, and this has nothing to do with actually when you're born. If it's a young idea in your head, just get it done. Go ahead and do it. And you will only have failed when you stop. So you get to decide when you fail. While you're doing it, you will be successful, in my view. Another important thing to understand as an entrepreneur, the most important thing is that to be successful, you must understand that you will not be able to do it on your own. I think that's one of the most important things to understand. You must be able to form relationships and that is mutually beneficial, relationship with other people. Because you won't be able to do it on your own. So if your plan is to be a one-man army, you're probably not going to succeed.
One of the best advice I can give to young entrepreneurs or anybody who is thinking or planning on starting a new business is to stop thinking, stop planning, and just go ahead and do it. Take action. Make sure that you follow your heart, and whatever it is that you embark yourself to do it with passion, and to have a clear reason why and a clear understanding why you want to do what you want to do. Work hard, and work even harder.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Housing schemes were introduced in Jamaica at a time when many Jamaicans couldn't afford to own a home. Building houses in mass served to be a cheap home ownership option and has remained so. This week we take a look at a company that has a legacy for such development.
I am Janelle Brown, Marketing and Sales Manager for Wicon, West Indies Home Contractors Limited. Our Wicon homes, I think top of mind for me is value for money. They're also very practical and very functional homes that we definitely give serious thought to the market that we're targeting and what it is that they're looking for in converting a house to a home. That's our foremost thought when we put pen to paper and design the units and then we build them. We have been known and we continue to be known for mass construction. Building communities, building a nation is our motto. So for instance, if an individual comes to us and they have a lot or a piece of land and they want us to build on that property for them, we won't offer that service. That's not something that we offer. What we go out is we look for tracts of land that we can do several units on, and then we build out those units and then we sell them to our clients. Wicon will be 60 years old next year, so we've been around for a long time. We've done quite a few developments that people will likely recall but not probably realize that it was us who did them. For instance, Mona was done by Wicon. Huendon was done by Wicon. Most popular, I think, would be Portmore. Most people will know that we did the first big development in Portmore. We transformed the housing industry during a time when most other persons were constructing single units. We went into mass production to create an opportunity for the average person to own a home. And that has been our mandate ever since. So we began in 1958 officially, working through our own units and then moved into partnerships with varying other entities. We have since moved away from those partnerships and we're now back on our own doing our wholly and solely owned developments. And we've learned a lot during those partnerships. I think the exchange of ideas has been good for both parties that benefited. And now we have developed what we would say are units that are more geared towards a mid-tier market, having initially focused more on mass. Not that we're moved away from the mass because we are still going to be doing mass products, but at this point we're doing a bit more. We're showing the Jamaican populace that we can do both. We can offer mass and we can offer some a little bit more upscale units as well. For the one closest to home, that would be Forest Ridge. That's just up the foot of Red Hills, not even 1 minute away from the base of Red Hills. Those we offer combination units on, so they currently have studios, 2-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom condos, and 3-bedroom condos. Those are more designed with a contemporary look and feel. So we're targeting that mid-tier, as I said to you before, and those have a breathtaking view of the Red Hills area, as you can imagine, because of where they're positioned. So those are our most current developments. Because it's studios going up to condominiums, they range from 16 to 34, depending on what you're choosing. We have a development in Greater Portmore, that's the Bermond. Those units are semi-detached townhouses, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. Those, as I had indicated before, one of the things that we were doing was going more mid-tier, and those would fall in that mid-tier. We have offered for those units a little bit more than what would normally obtain in the market. Those units come with water tanks and pumps fully installed already, so persons don't have to go and get that done. Because we know Portmore tends to have issues sometimes with water, so we ensure we have that in place. They also come with a solar water heater, solar panels, and we also have a PV 500 alternate power source for battery power source, so when the light goes, then you have a backup system that you can use as well. The prices on those are 15.2.
Hi, welcome to the Bermond. Come on in. Development houses 76 units, of course 24-hour security, a community center, children's play area, and multi-purpose courts, mainly for basketball and netball. All the units that we have constructed are 2 beds, 2.5 bath townhouses, which is an under roof of 955 square feet and an overall lot size of 1,800 square feet. Of course, living, dining, kitchen, covered patio, and an enclosed wash area. As we have gone green with this development, you will get a 800-gallon water tank, a solar water heater, and a 500-watt PV system where you would get up to 5 hours of solar system from the unit.
We take our first break here on Home Sweet Home. More when we return.
It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Welcome back to Home Sweet Home. We've journeyed to Montego Bay to take a look at one of Wicon's newest developments.
I am Dawn McNaughton. I am the customer service and sales coordinator for the Meadows of Irwin Housing Development here at Montego Bay. Irwin is just above the din of the city of Montego Bay. It's actually 10 minutes from Fairview. There is a country feel about being in Irwin. There are 4 phases to the development. We start phase 1, which was done several years ago. Then we did 38 unit houses on Northridge, 2 beds, 1 bath houses on Northridge. Then phase 2B, which consisted of 2 beds, 1 bath semi-detached houses and 2 beds, 1 bath detached houses. Phase 3 consisted of 2 beds, 1 bath detached houses. We are now in phase 4, which consists of a mix of 2 beds, 1 bath, 2 beds, 2 baths, and 3 beds, 2 baths detached houses. The people spoke and Wicon listened. They wanted bigger houses, and based on the NHD increase in the benefits, most persons are now able to afford the 2 beds, 2 baths houses. The square footage of the house, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, is 882 square feet. And I must tell you about that Wicon houses do have very high ceilings, so that makes the house cool. That's one of our main features. I find persons like it. Persons come in and say the area is quiet. You may see workmen around, but there is no noise, like there is no loud music, that sort of thing. It's quiet. So persons like it for that feature. Our 2 beds, 2 bath houses start at $11.8 million. And our 3 bedrooms, 2 bathroom units start at $13.8 million. The acreage of the entire development, it's 147 acres of land. So in the Meadows of Irwin development, there are amenities. Amenities including we have green spaces, open areas, parks. There'll be 2 main parks, and within that there are also other green areas. They are already established. The football field, the multipurpose court, there is a clubhouse or community center, and a children's play area with play equipment installed. So the children and the community have been using the facilities already. Persons may come in, we guide them through what the process is. We show them what we have available. We go through showing them the model units. And persons, based on our map, persons look on our map and decide, okay, I want to be here and I want to be there. So based on what they're looking at or where they would want to be in the development, looking at 2 or 3 lots, we can work out immediately what they need to be qualified for and what they need to find out of their pocket. So a pre-qualification letter is tantamount to your purchasing a house in the Meadows of Irwin. So when we have that pre-qualification letter, in front of us, and it states what the person or persons are qualified for. And based on what their needs are and what they want to buy, be it a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house or a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, we can do the calculations right then and there based on what they're qualified for to show the person what that person needs to find out of his own pocket in addition to what the mortgage company will cover. This is the master plan of the Meadows of Irwin Housing Development, and it's labeled, Phase 1, you entered here. So this is the entrance, this is the guardhouse, and you came down to us here. So this is Phase 1. Those houses that would have been on your left when you were coming in, that's Phase 1. Now, we are in Phase 4, as I had said to you. So you'll see all phases of construction going on in some areas of Phase 4. Phase 3 was already done and they're occupied, and Phase 2B was already done, already occupied, all of this. We are just now finishing up in Phase 4. So we have houses that are in different areas of readiness. So we handed over all these 50 on top of the hill. We're preparing another 20 for handing over shortly. By next week, we should be handing over, while other units are in the process of being inspected. And then you see some houses that have roofs on, some that is being prepared for roofing, that sort of thing. Lots vary by size and shape, so it's what you want. So you can always get a bigger lot, you can get a big corner lot like this one. Bear in mind that you're going to pay a premium price for being on the corner. For any lot that you have a wide expanse of backyard or yard generally, you're going to pay more, because there is a standard lot size. Standard lot size is 3,800 square feet. So anything above that standard, you are required to pay more. There are advantages to being on a corner, you know. You can always have another gate that you drive in from the side and have your carport to the back of the yard. So there are advantages. There are restrictive covenants. We ask that you maintain the exterior color that you are given with the house. You will know what the color is because we give you a homeowner's manual with the name, the color, the brand, and everything where you can access this. So once you do an expansion, you're expected to carry the exterior color onto the expanded area. Another restrictive covenant is that you're asked not to build on top of the existing house. You cannot build a garage or carport to the front of the house. You can expand, your expansion should be at the back of the house. You cannot change the front because all the setbacks have already been observed. So if you're going to expand, you must of course have your drawings done by an architect. A reputable architect must warn you, and these drawings should be submitted to the parish council for approval. Once you have your approval, you build according to the approved plan. And us as developers, we ask that you deposit a copy of that approved plan with us. It's a fenced community, and it consists of a guardhouse at the entrance exit that will be manned by a security officer to control the flow of people coming in and going out. The advantage of having one entrance exit, that you're able to manage who comes in and who goes out. Here's a police post here. The police post is in the community. Here is a clubhouse, the children's play area, the football field right here, and the multi-purpose court here. So there are things in place for children to be active and not cooped up in the house. The adults as well. This map is showing you all of Phase 4. Yes, wherever there is a pin, as you can see, pins all over the map, it means that the unit is already sold. Yes, so we just have a few left to sell. Yes, so wherever you don't see a pin, you can choose your lot.
My name is Carnell Campbell. I'm the project engineer for West Indies Home Contractors Limited. That's WICON. My typical job entails one that involves the full supervision of all construction activities on site. starting from the foundation. That's from checking reinforcement, ensuring that everything is in the right place, plumbing, electrical, followed by spraying at the foundation, because we spray the foundations for like pests or pest control. Additionally, once the foundation is cast, which I also order the concrete, measure up and order the concrete, once that foundation has been cast, it's down to the fabrication and applying the formwork, which we use aluminum forms. Once the formwork has been done, we prepare for the casting, which we either use island concrete or premix. Once the casting has been done, which that normally takes like a few hours, after that has been done, we prepare for roof framing. That is a typical roof framing. Once the roof framing has been done, it is followed by sheeting, which, as you can see, that's the sheeting which is done by a TMP, Tropical Metal Products Contractors. I supervise those works in terms of ensuring that the roof is level, ensure that everything is in order for the sheeting. Once sheeting has been done, I organize with Alcor, who supply the windows as well as provide the labor force to get that done. So we ensure that the windows are installed according to certain specs, ensure that the windows are caulked, as well as ensure that all locks are in order and everything is functioning well according to the window specs. Additionally, once the windows have been installed, we ensure that our masonry work are intact. I supervise the masonry work as well. Additionally, once the masonry work has been done, we sure coat the unit, sure coat in terms of plaster the walls, ensure that they are adequately prepared for painting. Once the sure coating has been done, it's time to sand and prime the unit. Once the unit has been sanded and primed, which supervision is done for that as well, we install the cabinet fixtures. Once the cabinet fixtures has been installed, we go to the plumbing fixtures in terms of bath, what you would say now in terms of face basins, everything along that sort in terms of plumbing, ensuring that everything is intact. Once those works internally has been done, we prepare for the full handing over to the homeowners. So all the works that's involved in the construction of a particular unit, that is what I am involved in.
Don't go anywhere. Home Sweet Home will be right back.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
Welcome back. We're still here with Janelle, who will wrap things up on Week on Homes.
For Meadows of Irwin, I mean, that has hit the market, has been on point with that market because people, as you know, have been looking for that kind of a home. So they're, they are really, really excited about it, and those units have been going pretty fast. Persons in the Mobile area are more looking for homes rather than studios or townhouses, because there's still, the culture is to have land space where you can do your planting and that sort of a thing. So you can do your extensions as well. So we made those fully detachable units because we know that's what the market demands. in the Portmore area, the Greater Portmore area, we know that a lot of the units are semi-detached. And so we went for that. The more you come into Kingston now, you know that land is tight and there are a lot more apartments and that sort of a thing. So that's hence we went for the design for Forest Ridge. For the Vermont, they haven't moved as fast as we would have liked. And I think because it's the first of its kind in that area with those amenities like the water tanks, the solar panels, the alternate power source supply, the pricing on them is a little bit more than what people had anticipated. So they're not moving as fast as we would have hoped, but they're still going on the market. And then Forest Ridge, those are a little slow as well. The closer you get to Kingston, there's a lot more opportunities for alternate homes. And we find that the consultant industry has really taken off a lot. As you can see, everywhere you go, you see buildings going up, whether they're townhouses, apartments, etc. So the competitive playing field there has been a little bit tighter for us. So those units haven't moved as fast as we would have hoped as well. Our name has been our strength for quite some time and will continue to be because we have revolutionized the housing industry, and I mean it's something that we continue to do. We always look for a different angle to present our units at. I mean, case in point is the Meadows of Irwin and the Smart Home that we have partnered with on that project with JPS to offer something different to our customers. So we're always looking for that edge. For that something little extra to offer our customers to show them that, hey, we're thinking about you, we understand what your needs are, and we want to make sure that we're offering you what it is that you're looking for. We try to ensure that when we do hand over that the community is in a position to sustain themselves. So we encourage the formation of a homeowners association, or what we call a strata, so that when we do finish handing over the units, that there's a structure in place to maintain the community and not have things fall apart after we go. We've come to recognize that there is a viable market overseas in the Jamaican diaspora. And for that reason, we have, for the past couple of years, been focused on going out to the diaspora, meeting them where they are and sharing with them what we have to offer in terms of our units. And as it stands right now, we have persons who live overseas who have bought units at the Meadows, and we do have persons who live overseas who have bought units at Forest Ridge as an investment option for them as well. So we know that there is opportunity there, and we have been aggressively pursuing the diaspora market for that very reason. We know that owning a home is major. It's major. We want to ensure and reassure our customers that yes, you can do it. We will work with you, we will guide you, ensure that you bring in all the necessary documentation so you can purchase your home.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands.
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.